Oh my god, there were so many Q&As. There were so many questions. I did not expect that. Go ahead and gather around, get yourself comfortable. We're starting in a few minutes. Is this thing on? Oh yeah, it is. Never mind. Oh my god, there were so many Q&As. There were so many questions. I did. Whoops. Okay, let me just make sure I got everything. Oh god. Okay, let me make sure I can see questions. Oh no, thank you, Ichigo. Alright, that'll be fine. Alright. Testing. My Steam's up. If I minimize this. Okay, great. What's up, folks? Oh my god, it's gonna be totally unscripted, so I might mess up a bit, but all the information I'm getting is from articles, Q&As, what I remember, know to be confirmed, just everything. Gonna try to leave as much my speculation and theory crafting out of it as possible. Alright, let's see, do I got everything? Yes, alright. Sorry, my family was playing music in the other room. Welcome to Dread Week. Well, my computer's messing up a bit. Alright, so welcome. And hey there. So, this video is dedicated to Dark and Light. This Dread Week is dedicated to Dark and Light. I'm going to be giving a small introduction to the game, what I know so far, which I think is a lot, what we've heard so far, just pretty much everything related to the game. So before I do that, let me just turn on some music really quick so I'm not just babbling away and it just is hard to keep up with and whatnot. Hold on a sec. Okay. You want to make sure it doesn't overpower my voice too. Wait, you can't hear that. Let me turn that up a bit. Okay, I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it's Age of Wushu music. Hopefully you can. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. I like the attitude cry. Alright, so from what we've heard so far, what I think Dark and Light is, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I think it is. I think it is a survival sandbox MMO. So, some examples of different kinds. Let's open my Steam really quick. I'm going to lead you through the motions. Let's go to the first one that people have referencing so far for Dark and Light. Ark Survival Evolved. This one has probably got to be the most popular one to be referenced thus far in similarities to Dark and Light. Oh, it's not updating. That's fine. Wait, hold on a second. There we go. Okay, alright. So, a lot of people think that it's very similar to Ark, which it does have some similarities, like the character creation looks similar to it. When you first start out, you select a spawn zone around the map, similar to how you would in Ark. I actually have a picture ready to show you kind of what it looks like, the character creation. Hold on a sec. Okay, so this was a picture that was leaked a while back on Discord of what the character creation is supposed to look like in Dark and Light. You can see there that in the top right here we've got the factions, and of course right below that we've got the map, and you can choose your spawn locations on the map, similar to Ark in that way. And there's 3 different factions that you can choose from, but we'll go into that a little bit later. Okay, the music's not too overpowering. Good. Trump Simulator 2016. I know, right? But yeah, there's one similarity to Ark right there. Some more. It has dragons, of course. So does Ark. I didn't actually know that until recently, that they had a DLC called Scorched Earth, which included dragons. I thought that was pretty cool. And also found out the way that you get those dragons. That was pretty cool too. But I mean, a lot of games do have dragons now, but I guess it is pretty similar to the way Ark's dragons look. Some people were kind of making the connection, saying that it looked almost identical. Actually, I could find a screenshot for you right now. Hold on. Multiple screens of death. But I have a screenshot for what the dragons look like. Here's one of them. This one is probably an updated version of it. Of course, it looks more like a wallpaper to me than anything, but still. It does look like an updated version of what the dragon's going to look like. Hold on, I gotta minimize my Steam out. Okay, you can. So yeah, this is the most up-to-date one I've seen of the dragons, of what they look like. There's an older one though. Let me find it in here. Here's one. We found this on the Play DNL website. That's this one right here. This is the official Dark and Light website right now. So we found this in the news section. Let me scroll out a bit so you can see it. Yeah, it was in this bulletin post right here. So, thank you, puppy. A lot of people were assuming that this was like updated and actually going to be how the dragons were going to look in game. I'm not so sure. It looked like an older picture because Dark and Light had a version come out in 2003, I think, around that time, and 2011, and it looked more like one of those. I think the 2011 one actually it looked more like, because the 2003 I have a picture of that too, I think. Hold on. Yeah, here we go. This is more or less how it looks like in the 2003 version, at least that I saw. In my last video, the 10 things I hope to be in Dark and Light. At the end there, I show a little clip of the old version, which was also known as Savage Horizon, and it looks a lot like this right here. So I think this is 2003, and these dragons, the black and red one that I just showed you, that's about 2011, and the gold one looked like the most updated version. And yeah, Corey just pointed out that the 2011 version was never released, but I don't know, it looks like, if you compare this to what I just showed you, the black and red one, it looks, it looks miles ahead. I mean, I know this looks more like a wallpaper than actual gameplay, but if this is what the dragons are supposed to look like, then I just can't see that black and red one being accurate descriptions of what they're gonna be. But do I still have that open? No, I don't. Hold on, let me just take one more look at it really quick. I do have a lot of screenshots. Yeah, see this, it doesn't look, from all we've seen so far of the current updated graphics, it doesn't look to be the same. Unless the person who was taking the screenshot just was playing on really low graphics, I don't know. But that was found. This is found on the official Dark and Light website, so we're not really sure what to make of it right now. I know I'm not. And yeah, Croy just said the Dragon Uphill is definitely the 2003 to 2007 version. I believe so too. So we'll have to find out about that later. How the dragons are gonna look. This is a screenshot of how it looks in Ark, or it looks similar to in Ark. So I don't know. A lot of we were having a discussion a few days ago that they might have some similarities there too. The standing animation was the main thing that was discussed. That might be similar, but we'll have to see. Anyway, back on track. So yeah, Ark was compared in a lot of ways. This game also has dinosaurs. I actually have I have the Dark and Light trailer in here somewhere, and I can show you. I'll find it later. Yeah, never mind. But this game does have dinosaurs as well. Actually, yeah, what I'll do is I'll find it in the articles because they probably have it in there. Yeah, so something like this. So this was another thing that was compared to Ark with the dinosaurs, and just how it's sounding so far. There's going to be a hunger and thirst system, so it's going to be a lot similar to other survival sandbox games we've encountered like that, like Ark, or sandboxes like Worm Online that have a hunger and thirst system too. Let me think of some other ones really quick. I'm drawing a blank right now with these ones. Yeah, pretty much that's another reason it's compared to that as well, and it looks similar. I mean, if you look at the screenshots that we have currently, they kind of do look like Ark in a way. Let me see if I can find some for you. Let's see. We got these ones. Yeah, these ones that kind of look similar to how Ark does. Yeah, they're dinosaur lookalikes, pretty much. Alright, but anyway, moving on. To stop comparing it to those games, I have some topics here that I'm going to read through. Some information that I got written up. I wrote these up after reading through all the Q&As, and there was a lot of questions. There was a ton. Like, I was so surprised to see how many questions were actually being asked and answered from all this time. So, I'm going to read some of that to you guys. Let me just go down to the most important thing I think first to describe would be, let's see. Okay. First thing, yeah, this is the same engine as well as Ark, so of course it's going to look a little similar in cases as well. But this game is going to be in early access. It's going to be on Steam. So that means by the end, the early access should last around a year as well. So when it does go into early access, I believe they still are aiming for around the end of this year. And when I looked it up, it said they were aiming for the fall, and the fall can go all the way till December 20th. So today is the 9th, November 9th, so we still have a while to go just yet. Hopefully it doesn't take that long, because, I mean, that's like, I think someone, Croy put a timer in Discord the other day, and it was like 37 work days or something like that. It sounds like a lot. But anyway, so yeah, we should be getting it by the end of the year, and early access should be around a year, so about 2017. This time, 2017 is when the game should be fully releasing. And they did say that a lot of what happens in the game past early access is going to depend on community feedback. So hopefully we'll give some good feedback. And hold on, what is that showing right now? Oh, my Steam. Alright, I'm gonna leave that up while I read through this a bit. So, no price has been determined yet on the game. Still figuring that out, but I'm thinking from what we've heard so far through the Q&A is that it's just going to be one price, not necessarily packages like you would see in like Albion Online or Black Desert, games like that where you can have founders packs with different prices. I think it's just going to be like one price, and then you get in after that. And they I think they might have multi-packs. I think that was more of a suggestion rather than a confirmed thing, but that's what I'm thinking anyway from what we've heard so far. And let's see. This isn't in any particular order either, so I'm just going to be randomly reading through this. The next thing I had down was the soundtrack. They said it should be pretty good. You can look at games like Age of Wushu for reference to see some of Snail's password. I don't know what that meant, because I'm not sure if I wasn't actually sure if Age of Wushu was made by Snail. If it was, I never actually knew that. But yeah, if they did work on the soundtrack, it was great. It was absolutely great. And Croy says EA will be slightly less than release price too. Also for that, on top of that, we will be grandfathered into the release, apparently, so we won't have to buy the game twice, thank God. Marcos says he pays $60 right now, even $100 with no packs. I mean, I'm down for that too, but I would much rather pay like 30 or 20 or something like that. I love the game, but my wallet, man, I don't want it to hurt. Paying $100, that'd be no different than like paying for a founders pack. Oh, and the game specs. I can show you the game specs really quick because that's going to be on the gunner. I don't know how to properly say the name, but Ganareth. That's my only attempt on that. The last thing I had under the games topics was the game specs, just in case you were wondering what those were. They are right here. And these were confirmed by Horse Joke himself. We also made the distinction shortly after that those were similar to Ark Survival's specs. So you might see, well, hopefully you don't see the same optimization because my computer just cannot tolerate Ark and Ark cannot tolerate my computer. Never could. Ark just hates me for some reason. I love the game, but it hates my computer. So I hope we don't see the same optimization. I think a lot of people were having problems with optimization in Ark in its early release and might still even be having problems with it. Right, John? But yeah, those are probably what you can expect. These are the minimum specs too, I believe, right? Yeah, based on the current build as of October 31st is what Horse said. So that may be subject to change for all we know. Alright, so moving on. I'm going to try to be on a track here. Sorry, I've already gotten off the track, but we're going to get back on real quick. Let's see. Alright, so let's talk about some of the features of the game. And just to clarify, all these answers, they all come from Horse Joke, who is also watching us. And he is an associate producer at Snail Games. That was the information I was able to find from that. And Croy posted that in one of the Q&As. And Tuesday Adams as well. He's another staff member of Snail. And these lovely folks have been answering questions for us in Discord and Reddit. So all the stuff that I've taken down so far comes from them. So it comes in tune directly from Snail. So let's talk about transportation. So for transportation, there's gonna be a magnitude of options for that. We're gonna have flying transportation, like with flying mounts. You can glide. We're gonna have gliding, parachutes, and apparently something called magical items. I'm not sure what that's gonna entail. That might mean anything from wings to I don't know. Who knows? You might get some. Someone corrected me on this a while back, but like Apollo, like Greek mythology shoes, the shoes with the wings on them. I forgot which Greek god had those. He said, I think he correct. No, it was Hermes. That's right. He said it was Hermes. I said it was Apollo because I need to brush up on my Greek mythology. Anyway, so yeah, that's we're gonna have a lot of transportation options, not just ground transportation, and mounted transportation. Speaking of which, there's gonna be a lot of mounted transportation going on. I believe, like on the ground, because apparently I'll get into the taming system a little later, but one thing I did want to bring up about the pets and the mounts that I wrote down. So let me just find it. Oh my god, this list is so long. Let's see. I remember what it says, but I just want to find the topic. Okay, here we go. So, one thing that I found really interesting was that Horse did say all mounts can be pets, but not all pets can be mounts. They follow orders and assist you in battle. And that was just added on to that. But at one point in there, I read that you'll be able to tame a ton of the monsters, not all, but a lot of the monsters that are walking around in the world. So I believe that would pertain to beasts as well, since there probably is a lot of beasts walking around. We already know there's saber-tooth. Let me bring up the animals again. So yeah, we got centaurs here. Obviously, I don't think we'll be taming those. But where were the animals at? We'll have griffins, unicorns for sure. These dinosaurs right here. I don't necessarily plan to put my money on riding one of those. I mean, that would be awesome, but I mean, damn, that's a huge dinosaur. Anyway, where are the saber-tooth at? I also have all the articles pulled up here, so I was gonna go through these after we talked about all the topics I had written down. Oh no, this is the first article. I'm sorry. This is the second one. This article also confirms that you're able to. It's got a pretty weird system with Yetis, but you can have those as pets. I'll go into that a little later. But I thought we had pictures of Sabertooth on this article or something. I know we got them somewhere. I know we got them on Discord. But I'll show them to you later. And yeah, I want to mount a bear too. See, I think that the taming system would pertain to getting back on track. Pertain to taming stuff like these bears, and if there's wolves and stuff like that, maybe not rideable wolves, but just wolves in general. So I think that players will probably be riding mounts a lot if we have a lot to choose from. Yeah, Marcos just brought up a good point that taming method has been confirmed to shard collecting and items to summon at a temple. I was reading in one of the Q&As that I don't know, we've got a lot of different information on the taming, because I'm gonna go down to the taming topic. I wrote this down. It's something different entirely. Yes, here we go. Okay, so what I have here is you will be able to tame a ton of monsters roaming around by weakening them and using specialized items. It'll take a different amount of time depending on how strong the monster is. For Yetis, you will have to kill a bunch and take an elemental shard to a shrine to summon one. So for the Yetis, yeah, we know that one. We know that one is more like a mythical monster, so that would probably take something more special to summon. And I would say probably gonna have to do the same thing for something like a dragon too. But what that first part tells me, you will be able to tame a ton of the monsters roaming around by weakening them and using specialized items on them. It'll take a different amount of time depending on how strong the monster is. That kind of sounds like Ark's taming system a little bit. Like, I don't remember how exactly you did it in Ark. I think it was about the same, wasn't it? You weakened it a bit, you knocked it unconscious, and then you kept feeding it. Yeah, you fed it to tame it. You fed it repeatedly, and depending on how big the monster, or like, you know, how elite the dinosaur was, it would take a certain amount of time to tame it. So like a Stegosaurus, it'd probably take about, I don't think it ever got anything crazy. I think the most I remember was something like 8 hours, like for a T-Rex. Something like 8 to 10 hours. Something like that. No? Okay, you trank it first, you knock the dinos out, then you feed them. Gotcha. So yeah, it kind of sounds something like that. For a lot of the animals, since it says to tame a ton of the monsters roaming around in the wilderness. But it doesn't particularly say beast, but I think it pertains to those two. So, gosh, what were we talking about before that? Yeah, so that's a little bit about the taming system. I do. I'm sorry. I do see the chat a little too late. I'll try to hold off a bit before I just completely designate something as being fact. Okay, so moving on the transportation, we do know that flying mounts such as griffins will be given to lords, and the lord system, I can get into a little bit of what that is right now. Faction cities, I don't know about the player-made cities because I found an article in here that kind of describes what the player cities are going to be like. But the faction cities are going to have a political system from what we've heard in the Q&A so far. So you'll be able to become a lord and you'll get access to special mounts and pets such as griffins, which you can then use to fly on. And yesterday in Discord, it was kind of talked about that there will be flying mount skills. So there will flying combat will be a thing. So that'll be something to look forward to for sure. And another thing we'll be able to do transportation-wise is construct teleportation devices. So Tuesday Adams actually confirmed this, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. You can build teleportation devices. Players will be able to construct teleportation gates that they can use to quickly travel across the map. So what that probably means is we could probably put something at our houses or towns or whatever, and we could teleport across the map with them. I don't know how exactly that's going to work, if it's going to mean teleporting to faction cities or just teleporting to other gates, or how that's going to work, but we'll have to see when the game releases. And there's also going to be flying cities. Let me see, we're still on this article. Let me go to their... See if I can show you guys a picture of what the flying city is going to look like. There we go. Okay, so yeah, we'll be able to fly up to these. There also might be teleportation gates for these. That's going to be really exciting to see. It's been 27 minutes already? Good God, I am so sorry. Okay, but yeah, that'll be a thing, and that looks really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that's going to be incorporated in the game world and how that's going to work out. Okay, so we're done with the teleportation or transportation topic. We got, just to recap, we're gonna have all types of flying mounts, parachutes, gliders, and magical items of some sorts. We're also going to have you're right, it's not a flying city. It's more like flying. I don't even know what to call that. Flying island. There we go. I'm sorry, flying island. But we're also gonna have a various amounts of mounts, like ground mounts. We don't know yet what we'll be able to tame exactly though, but all we have to go on right now is tame a ton of the monsters roaming around the world. And of course you can walk and use teleportation gates. So that's what I'm hoping we can do. If we can make cities on top of the flying islands, that would be great. Okay, so next thing, I wanted to talk about the servers. Let me go down to that. So we've been on the game topic and the transportation topic. Servers. Okay, so servers are going to be under 1,000 players per server. That was something really important to stress too. So I don't think it'll be at 1,000 entirely. With how much it's been stressed, it might be something lower than that, like or much lower than that rather, like around 700, 500, around there per server. A game I like to reference, well, I think of when I think of how this server system might work is Worm Online. Sorry, got the screen of death thing going on here. Okay. Let me show you guys a little bit of that game really quick. It's known as Worm Unlimited on Steam at the moment. But, the way this game's server system worked is it kind of had clusters. So different islands of the map were servers. Now, of course, I don't think Dark and Light's going to be like this, but it's what I think of when I think of Dark and Light for some reason. With the server size, that's what I was going for. The server size. So Worm had like about a 300 to 400 players at a time on each island, each individual cluster. So Dark and Light's probably going to be like one gigantic cluster, and then about 1,000 players or less are going to all be on that cluster, and it won't be split off or anything. I was thinking earlier maybe they could split it off like between the areas of the map, something like Life is Feudal is trying to do right now, where they split each individual area of the map into servers. But I don't think that'll work since we have different factions and, you know, different starting locations. So just all that probably wouldn't work together. Let me read through these comments a little bit. And John just said that it was mentioned numerous times that there are very few restrictions in build locations, which I hope that does remain a thing, because something I can reference on that. I can just go to my profile on this one since it's my favorite game on Steam. Mortal had a system where you could only place your houses and whatnot in certain areas, which made it super difficult to find a place to build, especially in like the desert region. There was just not enough places to build. So I hope Dark and Light definitely takes that to the next level and unrestricts us in terms of where we can build. That would be freaking fantastic. Let me see, where am I going with this next? Let's see. Okay, so we talked about the servers. Let's move on to another topic. Alts. So, one thing that was brought up in one of the early Q&As was somebody was talking about alternate characters. They wanted to know if that'll be a thing, first off, because they had a game to reference off of Arcade, where they had a guildie who was running around with like 20 different alts, and he just felt like it ruined the game because that person could just get so much farther than everybody else just based off of how many characters he had. And over time, what ended up being the initial response to that is, I'm getting lost here. Okay. There will only be one character per server. So far, I think that's the most updated information we have on that. So alts won't be a thing. And at one point in there, they were also asking about respecialization. Because if we don't have alts, then of course you're going to have to build your character very specifically to tailor it to how you want to play, and that means that you will only be able to go in certain directions. So the response to that was getting respecs, like getting a respec feature, will ultimately depend on community feedback once early access starts. So if we get in there and we find that it's way too linear for us, like if you want to be a crafter and a fighter but you just can't do that, and you can't find anybody else who wants to fill the thing that you can't be, then if you just put your opinion in there, then who knows, we might actually get some type of respec ability. Or not ability, but just some type of respec feature. Let me take a look at these comments again here. Yeah, and Marcos said, under 1,000 people on server for EA. Might be more on release depending on how popular it is, but the map is probably 4 to 8 times bigger than Ark. Going back to this character selection screen, at one point a member of the community, Interesting John, put a Reddit post up that was kind of comparing how this map would fare compared to other games maps like Skyrim and Fallout 4 and maps like that. And I think there was a map size put on there as well. I can't. Does anybody remember what that map size was? Actually, because I don't even remember right now. But the map size. I think after Interesting John posted that Reddit post, that Horse said that we don't actually know how big the map is going to be. Someone said that, because after that I started asking about the map, and then they said we don't know how big it's going to be yet. So I'm not sure if it's going to be around like 40 kilometers, like I think someone just said a second ago. But it does look pretty big from this picture. And there was some concept art I wanted to show you guys. Hold on a sec. Got the screen of death again. I'll only minimize Discord as well. Sorry about that. But I found some concept art. It was on 2P though, 2p.com, and a lot of our community members have said that they don't have the most reliable information out right now for Dark and Light, which I can totally see. But I did want to show you this anyway, because looking at it, it kind of did in certain ways look similar to the character creation screenshot. Like it didn't exactly look like it. There were some islands missing down here and whatnot, but I just don't see how this could be fake. You know, I don't know where they got this from. It's kind of strange, really. But this is kind of what I'm expecting from it. What the map to look like. Because let's bring it back up here. Of course, it doesn't look exactly like that, but I'm kind of expecting like desert biomes and winter biomes. Of course, we've seen pictures of those. Of course, we've seen pictures of floating islands as well. And yeah, I think I just wanted to show you guys this because I'm getting ideas from it. It probably might or might not look exactly like that, but it's a good thing to look at least. I'm gonna look at the comments again really quick. But yeah, that map I found in a 2P article that was written early on. I think around, when was that written? Around August. Around the time the trailer video came out. And there were some descriptions, like actual description on what Dark and Light was going to be. Matter of fact, I might be able to Google it. Let me see. Can you see that? Is this it? No, that's not it. Darn, there was another article. But it kind of does describe what Dark and Light is kind of turning out to be. No. No, I can't find it right now. Well, if I ended up finding it later, I'll link it in the video description. But, I know, but hey, don't judge me. I didn't know that was not a thing. Okay, moving on though. So yeah, Hunger and Thirst will be included in the game. It's going to be a survival sandbox, of course, like other ones we're used to, like Rust. Wait, do you have to eat food in Rust? I don't even remember right now, but Ark's a good reference that we've been using. and other ones like that. So there was this big article about the lore that I wanted to talk about. So when someone asked once how we would discover the lore of the game, they were replied to by it was Horse or Tuesday, but they said this. I'm pretty sure it was Horse. Exploration and discovery are huge themes in the game. I've been told that we have a good amount of hidden lore throughout the world that can help piece together the history of the world, background on faction relationships, etc., but it won't be force-fed to you. The people who probably enjoy Dark and Light the most are the fans of light RPGs. Not much MMO style level of grinding here and survival games, but want to explore more, both in terms of actual physical exploration and also the idea of exploring different builds and playstyles. Fun will always be subjective, but there should be plenty of options in Dark and Light for players to play how they want. Whether it's living in a city, become lord of that city, create your own town, raid other players, explore and collect pets/mounts, be a crazy hermit, wizard, / etc., etc. That's my game right there. But that just kind of leads me to believe that there's going to be a lot of hidden stuff for us to figure out in the game, and I like that. I like the idea of that. So it's not all going to be force-fed to us, like they said. And I don't know. I'm kind of getting the vibe from that there might be some, hidden things in the game. This hasn't been confirmed yet, but I don't know if it's been talked about or not. But I was getting the vibe that there might be like hidden, weapons or treasure chests or anything like that for us to find and figure out. Maybe even like hidden animals that we haven't even been introduced to yet, like creatures, for instance. Deep within caves, like we don't really know what we're gonna see when the game comes out, but it's gonna be interesting for sure. And adding on to that, let me find the terraforming system because I had some information about the cave systems. So sometimes in some sandboxes we're not able to like dig underground, and I know that's a big thing for some people. I personally do I like anything underground because being underground in sandboxes can be very strategical, I think. Like in other sandboxes, it might be harder to find somebody if they're living underground. Also, just in general, if you're like laying siege to someone, maybe tunneling underneath them could be a thing. Except in more old school sandboxes like Worm Online, for instance, it would take you a very long time to tunnel underneath someone, and they'd probably discover you before you finished. But where did I have the terraforming topic at? 1 second. So attributes, currency, terraforming. Why didn't I just do Control F? Hold on. Okay, here we go. So underground building / exploration will be a thing. Plugging this right from the Q&A as well. There will be a number of underground / cavernous areas that players can explore and build in. And for some reason I had that reference to Mortal Online. Why did I have that reference to Mortal Online? Oh, yeah. I'm glad that this is going to be in the game, because one thing that I did experience in Mortal Online was I wanted to build in the underground areas and explore them as well. They had some underground areas, but you couldn't build anything in them. And I mean, they were limited in terms of where you could build to begin with, so you couldn't build anywhere outside of them or anything like that. But I think that's a really good thing in a sandbox to have, because it adds to your options, and when players have a lot of options, they might enjoy the game a lot more. So what I'm looking forward to is something like, underground caves to live in. Even tunneling under people. I mean, that might be a little too powerful to an extent. Like, tunneling under people. We would have to see how the physics systems would work. For instance, if you were trying to tunnel under them and they had a moat of some kind, or you just tunnel under them, and as soon as you get to a plot of land, or I don't know how to explain it. Um, like picture you're tunneling. Um, oh, a cave-in. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not sure if we'd experience something like a cave-in or something like that if we ended up tunneling under somebody, but that would be pretty cool to see as well, and would be a pretty good defense against just tunneling under people entirely, because that could be pretty powerful. If they don't even have to go through your walls, they could just go underneath them. But of course, it might take even more time to do that, depending on how the terraforming system ends up being, if there is one. Because although this topic was named terraforming, I'm sorry, it was named terraforming, but this mainly had to do with underground building and exploration. Terraforming, as of yet, hasn't been confirmed, I don't believe. Oh, and these are streams, puppy, so it'll just be saved like as soon as we're done with it. Yeah, it just saves automatically as videos. Okay, so next up. Oh, something interesting I wanted to go over as well was the aggression system. We're pretty much halfway done with the topics, by the way. Close to halfway. What was the aggression system? Let me Control F that. Don't be triggered, I'm sorry. I must have accidentally deleted that one. Okay, well, I remember what he said. So, in one of the early Q&As, the question was asked if we'd be able to sneak around at night, or how the aggro system worked. And what Horse replied to that was, aggro was based off of line of sight. So if, like, you're trying to run from goblins or something, if they can't see you, like initially if they can't see you, then you'll be able to hide from them. And he also said, like, if you're hiding behind a tree or like obstacles in general, you'll be able to hide from them. So that'll probably be a big thing for sneaking around at night. I know personally I won't be going out at night because I'm not adventurous at all when it comes to that. I'll be staying in my house, you can guarantee. Drinking my hot cocoa by the fireplace, and lighting up my campfires, just everything like that. I'll wait till morning. I'm good. But if that is something you're interested in doing, if you like traveling at night, or just if you're going to be a nomad, then that'll be something to take into account when you're trying to avoid mobs. Oh, and while we're on the subject of underground and terraforming, I wanted to go through the article with the Cyclops. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there was some very interesting information given here. All the good stuff happens at night. All the good deaths happen that night, you mean? All the good deaths. And that's how you walk aimlessly into the night for 30 seconds and find yourself up face to face with the dragon. I'm not about that life. But so while I was reading this article yesterday, I've read it before, but I completely forgot about it. It talks about the interaction with monsters in the world that you can have. So with these goblins, for instance, not only will you be able to, kill them and be killed by them, but they actually have this neat ability where they can stun you and loot everything. They can loot everything you have on them, and they can, and I quote, squirrel away their loot in chests hidden deep within their encampments. So that means if you're not careful, of course, you can get your stuff jacked by a bunch of cute goblins. And then you might have to go on a murderous rampage to get it all back. Which I thought was pretty cool. Just from reading this article and some of the other stuff we've heard about the creatures, it sounds like these aren't going to be your, original or just traditional run-of-the-mill creatures. Like, they just see you, they try to kill you. It seems like we might have some, like, diplomacy interaction going on even. Because the next part speaks of... Where was it? Oh, here we go. So if you wanted to raid a Cyclops cave, for instance, you might have to strike a deal with the goblin to stun it while you do the looting. Of course, trying to bargain with the creatures as crafty as goblins could be a double-edged sword. That means we could possibly even have relations with these creatures, whether they're friendly or hostile, which I think is freaking cool. That was, I think that was a feature also promised in No Man's Sky. Hopefully that, you know, actually ends up being a thing. But anyway, so what I would suggest going straight into the game, I mean, the goblins, they deserve to die. You know, they're crafty, especially if they can stun you and take all your stuff and put it in their chest. I mean, I'm killing them from day one. But, you know, creatures, more sophisticated creatures like these centaurs, I might, you know, I would suggest giving them a little bit of a pass right off the bat. Maybe just see, like, get in front of them, see how they react. You might discover something interesting about them. You know, they might actually come up to you with the business plan, because it even says these half human, half horse creatures are quite intelligent species, living together in structured camps. So, and it also says try not to get on their bad side by trespassing in their territory. So we might see types of interaction, like if we, let's say for instance the goblins are fighting the centaurs, and we kill goblins, we might get positive relations with the centaurs and be able to do some form of diplomacy with them. And vice versa with the goblins, though my money's on the centaurs, I'm sorry. My money's totally on the centaurs. But another thing, getting back onto the underground topic, we know that Cyclops, they will appear in caves. Like it says right here, caves are home to the brutal Cyclops who prey on hapless humans. If you want to raid a Cyclops cave, you might have to strike a deal with the goblin to do it. But what I was wondering about recently is if we'd find more than just Cyclops in these caves. And we also have confirmed treasure apparently too, because wait. Actually, you know, it might just be talking about looting the Cyclops when it says you might have to get the goblins to stun it for you. Oh, hey, it even says here you can likewise negotiate negotiate agreements with centaurs to trade for the powerful weaponry, but you definitely don't want to double cross a species famed for its warmongering and hunting capabilities, which I totally agree with. So that would be really nice to see in a sandbox. I mean, that would be great to see. So I hope we get more of that. But I want to go to the Twitter, because recently there was a picture posted that someone brought to my attention, or brought to all of our attentions in Discord, that there's going to be giant spiders. Because I was wondering if we'd get something like, you know, a little Lord of the Rings action in there. Maybe some Harry Potter, where it's just the Big Mama and a bunch of her children. But if I had to guess, I would say that is the Big Mama, and there could very well be some children up in there, and a lot of them at that. But what does the dwarf race look like? I don't think we've gotten any pictures on that yet. In terms of character creation, all we've gotten so far is this. Well, in characters in general. We do have a picture of a human swinging a sword, but I think so far all the character pictures we've gotten have just been humans, maybe elves, but pretty much just humans. I haven't seen any dwarfs yet. Sorry about that. But yeah, Sheila, that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, hopefully we'll get even more different creatures that appear in caves besides the spiders and Cyclops. I'm sure we will. I was thinking even how cool would it be to see a giant anaconda in a cave. And I'm thinking for sure that these caves will have some kind of treasure in them as well. I mean, this cave looks pretty big just looking at this picture right here. So I'm thinking big stuff. I'm thinking big stuff's gonna come from this stuff. Especially if we can build in these caves too, it's gonna be really good. Really, really good. Okay, but moving on. Let's see. Okay, so I talked about the server system. So let me tell you a little bit about what they're gonna do for catching hackers and exploiters. Wait, what part's concept art? Are you talking about the... Oh, the spider? I have no idea. That it kind of does look like concept art, doesn't it? I don't know. Oh, Rabbit, I didn't know there were giant snakes in Ark. See, I'm finding out so much now about it. I recently found out there were dragons, but now you're telling me there's giant snakes too? Dang. I'm not sure if this is concept art though or game engine. It kind of looks like concept art, but I don't know. Maybe they just had low graphics when they took this picture. I mean, it definitely looks different from this picture. Unless you guys were talking about something else. Oh, right, catching hackers and exploiters. So, in one of the early Q&As, someone asked what they were going to do about that, and Horse replied with, we're going to have a GM/QA team dedicated to Dark and Light once it hits early access. Maintaining fairness/managing security will be a high priority. So, most likely they're gonna have some sort of system for that. What I was thinking could happen even, because I asked about it yesterday, one of these days. Let me see if I can find my question again. My question was... Yeah, my question was if we had any GMs already ready to go for Dark and Light. And Horse replied with, we have a GM team available for Dark and Light. Tech support is going to be handled through a ticket system where you could report bugs, but gameplay feedback would be more appropriate for the forum, since that's where I'll be hanging out and looking for feedback a lot of the time. So it seems like in terms of hackers, exploiters, etc., we shouldn't have too much to worry about, because there's going to be game masters in game, probably going around invisible and searching out, looking out for that kind of stuff. And since there's going to be under 1,000 players for early access, they'll probably be easy to catch. At least I would imagine. Okay. Giant snakes are a thing. Ooh. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of those spiders. Those look really, really cool. So next thing. Oh, I should go into the skill tree. I'm sure that's a really important topic. I'm sure that's something everybody's wondering about. Did I talk about taming it? Yes, I did. And then after the skill tree, I'll go into attributes and mounts and pet system. Okay, so for the skill tree system, and I got a video up here to kind of describe what it's probably going to look like, but I don't know if this first part was confirmed or not. No. What I'm about to tell you, this isn't confirmed. This is just what I think it's going to be similar to. I think it's going to be similar to Skyrim's skill tree from what I was seeing in the Q&As this morning, especially when it comes to different types of magic. But what Horse did say to the different types of magic part when someone asked was, you're getting on the right track. So this we can expect when it comes to the different types of magic. The other parts might look different entirely, who knows, but something similar to that we could expect for the magic trees at least. And of course the standard elements include ones like fire, earth, water. Those are the only 3 that I got down, but I'm pretty sure that would mean also, like, let's see, what comes after fire, earth, water? Air. It's probably air. And then Horse also said there were some unique trees as well. So I'm thinking there's probably got to be some death magic in there, That's not confirmed yet, though. We don't have a confirmed list of what the elements are going to be. But fire, earth, water, air, I'm pretty sure we can count on. And I'm hoping for death magic. Hoping as well for, I don't know, what are some other ones? What are some other? Nature. Holy. Gotta have some holy in there. Yeah, there we go. And some other ones like that. Also, let me read through these comments really quick. I completely agree with that, Rabbit. Rabbit said there should only be a few servers, and if the server is empty, they should merge it with other servers. I think that'd be a great idea, but... And also, yeah, what Ichigo said, 2 servers needed, one for PvP and the other one for PvE. He said others, though. But, yeah, I think the mega servers would be a great idea for Dark and Light. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot more than... Well, okay. I do and I don't, I guess, because... Let's look at the map again real quick. 1,000 people, when I think about it, like if I was thinking about Worm, for instance, putting 1,000 people, combining 2 or 3 of those islands together, that makes sense. This is probably like 6 or 7 of Worm's islands put into one. But if you put more than 1,000 people on here, how many more could you fit? Because if we're talking like 10,000 people, I mean, I don't think this map would fit 10,000 people. I mean, it would, but you'd be finding a person like every half second. You know, so for this map, I think mega servers are great, but maybe just have like up to 1,500. Then again, we don't know how big the map size is going to be right now, but yeah, we also can't be too optimistic about mega servers from what Horse has said so far. Right now, it looks like the way it's going to go is there's going to be multiple servers with under 1,000 players each, and there's going to be 2 different types, PvP and PvE. Death magic and holy magic. Oh, that's right. John just brought up an interesting point. He replied to the death magic and holy magic. I suspect that dark and light elemental magic will probably be the closest thing you'll find to them. I do remember at one point, Horse said that in Discord that dark and light were going to just be more than a name. They were going to affect like all types of the game, like the lore, which makes sense, the magic, which makes sense as well. So something like death and holy magic would probably be in the game too. What screenshot am I missing? Puppy? My bad. Oh, okay. Thank you, Puppy. There we go. So this was just linked by Mr. Puppy. This is a pretty good image of what the magic might look like, and the melee combat. You can kind of see that overhead swing right there on that rock. That looks amazing. And this kind of looks like he's piercing into. Yeah, he's using a pierce attack on what looks to be some kind of creature, some kind of reptilian creature. It looks like. Is that a baby dragon? Is that a drake? I don't know, because the scales are kind of forming back like that. I can't tell exactly, but that magma part of his nose kind of looks like, I don't know, it looks like that might be something. But yeah, that's what the melee combat's probably going to look like, and the casting combat as well. I actually have some gifts I can show you as well for that. Where was I? Yep, there we go. Of course, said it perfectly. Horse said darkness and light are to be way more than just actual concept. Throughout the game, in the factions, in the spells, in the various areas around the world. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. And, and Rabbit says they should extend the max limit for people on a server because lots of people will want to try out the game for EA. I don't want to wait in a 10-hour queue to play the game. I don't either. Especially not after, you know, the launch days of Arcade and Blade and Soul, or arcade or launch days like that. But I think that there's going to be multiple servers from what Horse has said so far. Oh, and Horse Joke did confirm that the spider screenshot is in game. Puppy, what am I do? I showed you. Wait, did you link me a different one? You gotta PM me, man. I'm sorry. If I'm missing something, I'm sorry. Just PM me. Yeah. Well, okay. So Croy said multiple servers are confirmed. So yeah, that's what it was sounding like. Like was gonna happen. There could end up being like 50 servers. I mean, I know that when a lot of new games come out, I mean, I think Albion Online is probably the closest reference since that was a recent sandbox that came out. The servers were just, the server was full of people on when the last beta got released. It was a lot, and it had a lot of different guilds from games that I remember from the past. Like I used to be in a guild called Pyre Immortal. I remembered seeing some of them in there, and Dreadlords, Dread. Also saw some from Black Desert, like Baka, and what were some other ones? There's just all kinds of people coming in from all corners of the gaming industry, gaming world. So I think this game will be no different. As soon as it pops up, it's gonna get flooded. Alright, so moving on in the skill trees, all skills will share the same pools of points. So, oh yeah, I remember when I wrote that. So the skill tree system, it's going to be more of a progression similar, from the sounds of it, to games like Albion Online. I could probably find a video for you really quick. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, see, something like this is what I'm thinking when I think about it, because further down the line, Horse Joke did say that eventually you will be able to learn every skill in the game, but it would take a very dedicated player to do that. But progression is not infinite. So that just kind of reminds me of this skill tree system, because I guess it kind of means you can just go in every single different direction you want to, if you just put the time and effort in. So a standard, not standard, but a skill tree like this would probably take years to go through if you wanted to get every single thing. And that's kind of the vibe I got when I read that quote from Horse. It would take a very dedicated player, but you could learn every skill in the game once you reach max level. So, what's it called? Yeah, I would imagine in Dark and Light, it's probably going to take you a year or so to, even though it's kind of starting to sound like more survival sandboxes, like, you know, Ark and Rust, and kind of even Empyrean Galactic Survival in that sense, in the leveling sense, where it wouldn't take you that long, probably take like a month max to get max level and unlock all the recipes and whatnot. I still can kind of get that vibe that it's probably going to take you like a year or so from all we've been hearing so far. Also, another interesting tidbit I wanted to put in there was you will be able to build a glass cannon or a complete tank. I think the reason I put that in there was at one point in there, in the beginning, one of the first Q&As, it was said that where do I have that at? I remember what it said. Magic is going to be a big part of this game. So melee, like if you wanted to go pure melee, it might not bode as well as opposed to being a hybrid. So what I'm kind of getting the vibe from that is that probably every melee guy you're going to see running around, if he wants to be competitive, is probably going to have some form of magic. Now, Horse did say to counteract that, you could use magical buffs, enhancements, and pets. But if you were still just trying to go for pure melee, you might have a difficult time against somebody who's incorporating more magical talents into their specialization. So that's just something to think over as well when coming into this game. You might actually have to play as a hybrid if you're planning on going melee, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, all that means is, you know, just cast out the occasional fireball when your opponent gets far, when he, and then when you get close, just go ham on them with your melee weapon. Probably gonna have to use all tools in your arsenal though, which is probably gonna include a lot of magic. But yeah, the reason I wanted to put that in there is that if you wanted to, you could probably go full glass cannon or complete tank if you wanted to. You could probably make that work even too. I mean, what I like to do anyway is go for the most unusual builds in games and try to see how that works out. Most of the time, it doesn't end up working out, but it's still fun to do. So, and who knows? It might end up being balanced at some point, because a lot of what happens in early access is going to depend on community feedback as well. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Oh my god, sorry, puppy. Oh, it's a magma snake. I see. Okay, so that screenshot I showed you earlier, that Mr. Puppy link. Let's see if we can find that again. What's this? Oh, yeah. Hold on a second, let me bring up that screenshot again. I'm so sorry, puppy. I don't actually have sound on my own Discord, so I can't really hear you when you PM me. I forgot to occasionally check that. Crud, where was that screenshot? Here we go. Okay. So yes, this is a magma snake, which that's really cool then. Wow. I was thinking like a baby drake or something. I might actually want that as a pet. Who knows? I think there's going to be a lot of cool different creatures that are going to be in the game, from what we've heard already and seen already. I think that pretty much finishes it up for the skill tree. Oh yeah. Also pertaining to the magic system, shape-shifting will be a thing, and this one we're gonna have to get confirmation on, I think, because it was a little weird when I read it. But a possible method of shapeshifting is gonna be feeding animals. Players can get their magical crystals, which can be used for shapeshifting. So I think the exact quote was something along the lines of, if you feed something to animals, you get magical crystals from them, which then can be used for shapeshifting. Which I don't know. I mean, that doesn't sound extremely weird, but that's going to be interesting for sure. Also, thievery is going to be included. I remember seeing that early on. I don't remember which Q&A I saw that in exactly. That might need confirmation as well, but I'm picturing a little, something similar to like Mortal Online's version of thievery system, where you just crouch behind somebody, you can steal their stuff. That sort of thing. Maybe look in their inventory, see what they have. Last thing I had in the skill tree section was there won't be AFK activities, it'll be active, and I pretty much just had this as the gameplay section as well. But yeah, so Dark and Light, it's not going to be similar to other MMOs where you could just, let's say you just want to go mining, you just start mining and you just leave the game alone, you alt-tab, you watch videos or something else like that. It's going to be more interactive from what I got from this quote. So stuff like that, and fishing, and obviously fighting, it's going to take the player paying attention the whole time, which it should, I think. And I mean, it most likely would anyway, since this is going to have a full loop PvP system. By the way, there's going to be a full loop PvP system. So at any time when you're gathering, you could possibly lose your stuff. So you got to be alert at all times. All times for sure. And Marco said that they did say that they are releasing a full game with EA, offering final polish with player feedback. So that gives a better understanding as to what EA is going to be like. Oh, and that brings me to my next topic. So I found something. Yes, and it's right above it. So this pertains to why we haven't gotten gameplay footage yet. And this was related to a discussion that came up a few days ago. And it makes perfect sense to me, of course. I completely understand anybody's skepticism as to why we haven't gotten gameplay footage yet. But someone specifically asked Horse one time why we didn't get gameplay footage yet. And Horse responded with this. It's pretty standard in this industry to work with third-party vendors, and you can't show certain stuff as a result, which is part of the reason why gameplay footage hasn't come out yet. Iterating is another big part of it. For example, some creatures don't make the final cut. Don't make the cut into the final version. But if players can't find that creature and call us out for false advertising, even if it's minor and nothing we can't get in legal trouble for, we want everything shown in the trailer to be fully representative of the final product. So what that says to me is, since someone did point out a few days ago, well, a couple of people did, that we saw some Skyrim assets, or not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls assets in one of the photos for Dark and Light. So what that might mean is, and they also pointed out that some of the dinosaur creatures look dangerously close to the ones in Ark Survival Evolved. And they linked all the screenshots and compared between them, and they did look really similar. So what I got from that is, since they're, changing like the 2000, like the whatever they had from 2011, I'm guessing, and all this time they're changing that into the Unreal 4 engine. They're probably buying a lot of different assets from third-party vendors, or just working with them, and they might even be working with the developers of Ark. We said it as a joke a little bit ago, but it could actually be a possibility, because one of the Mortem clan members in Discord pointed out in the release predictions channel that there was 2 main Ark Survival developers that went to China, which is also where Snail is based out of. By the way, the company that is developing the game is Snail Games. Oh, is my music still going on? Hold on. Okay, starting that over again. Anyway, yeah, so they're based out in China. So they could have, gone over there and sold them some assets for all we know. And that could explain why they had assets that look so similar to Ark. And also what I was thinking as well is, since both Ark and Dark and Light and a lot of other games were made in the Unreal Engine, maybe they just got their assets from the same place. But I think they did point out as well that a lot of Ark's assets were made in-house. But I don't know, I think that could still be a possibility as well. So yeah, hopefully that sheds some light as to why we haven't gotten any gameplay footage yet. They probably have a lot of stuff that isn't going to be in the final release in the game, or they've just got a lot of stuff that came from third-party vendors that they can't necessarily show in the game right now. Which I guess that makes sense to me too. I will admit though, I haven't really seen games do that before. So it is a little unusual, but it starts to make more sense when they say stuff like that. And Marcos also said Snail is buying Studio Wildcard. We heard it here first. Yeah, they also could have ripped it off for all we know. We won't really know until the game releases, but that was just mainly why I wasn't just jumping on the idea that it might have been stolen or anything like that, because I know, like, I used to, because when I used to play Skyrim, I used to go on Nexus mods all the time, and one of the screenshots that was compared was from Nexus mods. So I was thinking, okay, it could be from a mod, and I know sometimes mods give up the creative power. Like if they stop working on the mod or something, they might release it to the community and release all the files and whatnot. So I was thinking, okay, they could have gotten the assets as well from a public Skyrim mod, maybe, or if since Skyrim gives so much freedom to mods, maybe they just give their assets out in that way as well. But yeah, that's pretty much like Corey said. When we're playing the game and having fun, who will care in any case? So yeah, hopefully that just sheds some light. But it's really not anything I would concern myself with, honestly. I'm sure there's good reasons for it. Let's see. Inventories. Okay, so this was some fun stuff that I read earlier. So inventories will be constrained by inventory slots / weight limits. That means we're not going to be able to carry everything on our person. Thank goodness. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool if you're able to carry all that stuff on you, but I personally wouldn't even want to be tempted to, because I know I'll be getting ganked. Probably a lot in that game, so I would rather lose, just a little bit of stuff rather than my whole loadout. Because I know I'd be tempted to carry my stuff everywhere with me if we had no weight limit. Which I guess a counter that could just be, don't be a dummy, but I am a dummy, so. Anyway. So yeah, we're going to have inventory slots and we're going to have weight limits. So that'll be something to take into consideration when gathering and hunting mobs. Also, something to add on to that is we do have a confirmed currency system. So I'm not sure if that's going to mean like gold or anything like that, but there will be a currency system separate from materials, like material trading, like, trading. I think some examples people were using was like trading logs for skins, like animal skins. We'll have a separate currency from that. And NPC vendors will be in the game on early access from what we saw in the Q&A as well. So trading will definitely be a thing. There will be an economy early on, and it'll be set by us. So let's just hope the stuff isn't overpriced. I'm sure it'll be fine though. Hopefully. Okay, also static storage spaces. So chests, I pretty much only had chests in etc. They didn't say anything about banks or anything. So I don't know if banks are even going to be a thing in the game yet, but chests will not have weight limits. But mobile storage units will. And when they said mobile storage units, that made me think maybe we might be able to craft some backpacks to expand our inventory slots and maybe even our weight limits. And if that ends up being the case, that'd be really cool. But yeah, chests, you can just store everything in those. You won't have anything to worry about there. And let's see. Oh, as for equipment, you're gonna get upgrades for equipment through the crafting system, although there are plans for enchantment / other types of equipment. So pretty much this whole plussing up your gear stuff, just possibly losing it on failure, all that stuff that looks like it's not going to be a thing in the game, you're just going to be upgrading through tiers and enchanting your weapons and armor. I think that means just getting extra effects from it. Like enchanting a sword, getting a fire effect maybe, or stuff like that. But for the most part, upgrades, you don't have to worry about that. You'll just get that through crafting new stuff. Ooh, faction cities, player cities. That's a big topic for me. I'm going to go through that in a second. But yeah, well, Marcos, if there isn't an auction house, I mean, I don't know if I'm thinking of the right word. Like, if not an auction house, maybe a marketplace. I want to say if there's not an auction house, there could at least be a marketplace. And I mean that in the sense where you wouldn't really bid on anything. You would just go there, see a listing, and be able to buy it, kind of thing. And The reason for that is because if we didn't have something like that, I think it'd be too difficult to, you know, trade between other players. Like if you were getting on, let's say you gather a bunch of ore in the day, or like in the early morning. That's when you go out to gather ore. But you want to sell it on the spot, or you want to just like list it on something and not have to worry about it. Without an auction house or a marketplace or something like that, or NPC vendors controlled by players. There's something too. You probably would, you know, like have to wait till like midday or something like that for other players to get on before you could start advertising for it. Oh God. Marcus said, if you want what I'm selling, walk your happy butt to my house so I can gank you and steal your stuff. Well, yeah, that's one way to do it too. Oh God. You know what? No, if they do have marketplaces and stuff like that, I think it would only be in the faction cities, because oh, and actually this next topic that I'm going to get to is going to describe that too. But the faction cities, that's what's going to have like the guards, you know, like, well, your player cities will have mercenaries that you can hire as guards too, but it'll have the banks if that ends up being a thing. It'll have the political system, and it'll probably have the marketplace. But what Horse said in one of the Q&As when somebody asked about player cities is that let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Here's the exact quote. Players can build their own town-like societies, but they'll be more based around RP than built-in gameplay. So, and that was in relation to the political system as well. So, if you want to become a lord of a city, or, you know, a town or something like that, that'll probably have to do with faction towns, like actual NPC towns. But when it comes to player-built cities, that's, you know, pretty much whoever you say is in charge is in charge. There isn't going to be a actual system for that or anything like that, from what I'm gathering from this Q&A. But and I think that's pretty cool too, that there is going to be a political system and that you can become a lord. I hope there's more positions than just a lord. But even if it's just the lord, that'll be cool too, you know. They get access to cool mounts. I hope there's a taxation system, if you know what I mean. But oh, let me read through these comments really quick. Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. As long as as long as shops aren't a means to hide and secure your gear infinitely. Yeah, I could definitely see that being something that would be exploited. In many different ways. Oh goodness. Yeah, NPC vendors would be pretty cool too, though. That would be pretty cool to see. But coming back to the faction cities and player cities, let's see. So yeah, the political system and the faction cities, it's going to be a unique system and open up a secondary gameplay system for players who want to play politics instead of in addition to constructing their own base. Wait a minute, what? Oh, that's conflicting. Okay, so you might actually have a political system with player-made cities, from what this quote just said. Huh. I read a little bit past that one, so I didn't read that one first. And then that's where the players can build their own town-like societies, but they'll be more based around RP than built-in gameplay. Quote comes in. And you're also going to be able to hire various types of NPCs to guard your towns, bases, etc. And you will also be able to mess with the guards, but they are powerful. And what that kind of reminds me of is Mortal Online's guards. Like, I can probably show you some of that really quick. I think I found a video before. Let me see, this might be the one. So, Dark and Light might have a system where if you get too close to... Well, no. I think the only people who really have to worry about, yeah, you can see these guards here, how they're just, just coming up and whacking this guy repeatedly. They're not as powerful as the mortal guards I remember. I think these ones were changed slightly. But I'm thinking the dark and light ones are going to be pretty powerful from what that quote said. But since faction members won't be able to PvP with each other, they won't be able to kill each other. So red guys, there won't be any red on red crime, yellow on yellow crime, anything like that. So the only people who have to worry about the guards are people from opposite factions, most likely, and that probably means that the guards are going to be hostile to them on sight. So the faction cities will probably be a safe haven most of the time, in terms of that, and you probably won't see a lot of PvP going on directly outside the gates as a result. But what you might see, if it does, because what they could do is they could get somebody to lure the guards away, like shoot a fireball at them, for instance, and then start running. Just go, and then everybody else goes in and raids the city while those guards are distracted. It's really going to depend on the guards' flagging system, but we might see something like that going on even. And in that case, I guess you would see some PvP going on at the gates. And Marco said, losing his pets in-house by an offline raider isn't something I want to deal with. Yeah, that would suck. Oh, I do need to read through the pets, the mounts and pets topic, but those are going to be persistent. So I think they'll be defending your house to the death if that ever, occurred. But okay, so we're done with that one, that topic. And yeah, NPC vendors will also be in the early access. I spoke about that earlier. Also, some humanoids will exist outside the cities, but for the most part, they'll hang out inside the city walls. So we might not see a lot of, roaming bandits or anything like that going on. We might see some. That might be the some that it's talking about, as a matter of fact. But for the most part, we might just be seeing humanoids inside the cities. And the rest of the humans outside of them would be us. Okay, and then, let's see, for the pets and mounts, what was that one? Oh yeah, and real quick, for the factions, you'll have to be a part of one, so there isn't a fourth choice, there's no door number 4 on that one, so you'll have to either be red, yellow, or black, and you can't kill anyone who's a part of your faction, so there won't be any, you won't have to worry about, that sort of griefing going on or anything like that. So some people might like that, some people might hate that. It's just, for the most part, kind of what's going to be like, starting off at least. And cities are also going to be all faction-based, so they're not separated by race. So from that quote, I gathered you won't see any, like, dwarven fortresses, underground fortresses, or, elven forest cities or anything like that going on. They'll pretty much just be determined by the faction. By how the the faction theme or whatever they decide to do with that. And also, no matter what race you're playing, you can join any of the 3 factions. So you'll see a lot of mixing and matching going on for sure. And yeah, like Rabbit said, you can also hire guards to protect your house and pets, which would be great. That's going to be really good to see. That you won't be completely defenseless while you're offline, because in other survival sandboxes like Rust and Reign of Kings especially, and Ark even. Well, no, Ark has some defense systems too. 7 Days to Die as well. But yeah, you'll have some kind of defense when you're offline, and when nobody's around to defend your stuff. So I think that'll be a good thing to have for sure. And let's see. Oh yeah, I want to go through the wiki a little bit. I think I'm pretty much done with the topics. Let me just go through the mounts and pets really quick. So the mounts and pets, they are persistent and will follow your orders while out in the world. So that means, like in Darkfall, when you get off a mount, it's not going to just disappear. It's gonna be there. So that means there might be a potential to have it stolen, have it you know, get it. It might get killed if you forget about it or just can't defend it. Who knows? But yeah, those are going to be persistent, and you can give them orders. There's going to be an interaction with the pets, which I think is going to be really cool. So you might be able to tell them to follow you. You might even have attack abilities. No, for sure you'll have attack abilities because what's it called? Where is the quote? Pets will have... We'll probably find it later, but pets will have abilities. Innate abilities was the exact quote. Innate abilities. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but they might not have abilities like, you know, casting fireballs or stuff like that, but they might have some special abilities like, who knows, taunting, attacking for sure, scratches, bites, different kinds of attacks like that. Oh yeah, but it's going to be similar to BDO system for mounts, of course, like I just said. So when you get off it, it'll still be there. You might even be able to get it to follow you. They will have permadeath. That's something very important to note. So you want to be careful with those. You probably really want to be careful with those. I did hear at one point that there would be like stables for mounts and maybe even pets, but we'll have to get confirmation on that to know for sure. I don't know if we've received any information on stables yet. But if there are stables, they'll probably be limited to just the faction cities. And also, something I wanted to note is they won't all be piled up in one place, so you won't see a bunch of mounts piled up in the cities, for instance. So there's probably going to be a system for that, some kind of cleanup system, where you'll only see your mount maybe, or your mount and a defined number of mounts, maybe like 50 or something like that. But that was the kind of vibe I was getting from that quote. Oh yeah, there we go. Pets and mounts will have some innate abilities. That was the exact quote I was looking for. And also right after that, all mounts can be pets, but not all pets can be mounts. They can follow orders and assist you in battle. So that was pretty cool, I thought. So like if you're a lord of a town, you could get off your griffin and have it as a pet, have it follow you around and aid you in battle. Or if dragon taming's a thing, then I could get off my dragon and have it follow me around and aid me in battle. That would be amazing. I'm all about the dragons. I can't even begin to explain how much I am. But yeah, the mountain pet system seems like it's going to be really, really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, and some house defense systems will be pretty cool to see too, like turrets. I don't know if it'll really fit in the universe, but I mean, it'd be pretty sweet. So we're done with the topics. So I'm just gonna go through a couple articles with you guys and just show you a little bit about what else is gonna be in the game, and I'm gonna show you some stuff from the wiki as well. And after that, I think we'll be good to go for the week. But this was a Reddit post I posted, I think last week, about Dark and Light's old skill tree system, and also the old classes they had. I wouldn't take any of this as confirmed knowledge. It's just kind of theory crafting, just kind of getting an idea of what the new version might look like. So this is the old skill tree from the old version of Dark and Light, which is why I was also thinking it might look similar to Albion Online in that sense. Oh, and John just replied and said that stables, there's a screenshot of a pin with the griffin in it, so I assume we'll be able to store them in pins. I certainly hope so. Because yeah, that would be great if we had stables, so we didn't have to have our pets and mounts out all the time, because, you know, I don't want to just be running around with those things all the time. When I lose a pet or a mount, I take it to heart, so I'll be doing a lot of crying if I can't have it in a stable somewhere and I know it's safe in some place. Okay, so this is the fan site for Dark and Light, brought to you by Gnereth, and I believe this is moderated by Croy and a couple other members of the Dark and Light community. So what we have here is also confirmed information. I just took a quick skim at it, but I saw that the weapon types that are currently confirmed seem to be staves, swords, and hand axes. Also, scythes, we're not really sure about yet because that has been confirmed by the community to be a mob. I'm not sure if it was confirmed by Horse or not yet, but there is a similar picture that has that Reaper looking guy, and he has the exact same scythe, and he just has the exact same model, just, you know, everything. And when you take a look at the picture, it kind of looks like he's perfectly tracking onto the animal. I don't know, it just doesn't look really controlled like it would from a player. At least that's the impression I got when I started looking at it more. So I kind of started thinking that as well. Let's see here. Yeah, air to ground defense items would be great. That would be freaking great. Oh, CMOS as well. I'm sorry. This wiki is also hosted by CMOS. Oh yeah, crowd control. So this was something we got confirmed about a few days ago, I think. We asked Horse if there was going to be any diminishing returns in terms of CC, and he did confirm that there is going to be some restrictions on super heavy CC abilities. So you shouldn't be in a situation where you're going to be permanently stun locked, which is going to be great, I think. So, you know, it won't be stun lock central. There'll actually be some kind of defense against that. And you'll also be able to build up resistances to damage and certain debuffs through stats and equipment. But there we go. But let's just go ahead and jump ahead here. So yeah, like I said earlier, standardized currency will be implemented, as well as NPC vendors for supplying early game equipment and items. And we're going to be trading with each other. Hopefully, I mean, it sounds like we're going to have an unrestricted trade system, so hopefully that continues to be a thing. It'd be great if it is. This is the system requirements, of course. And also I'll post this link in the video description if you are interested in looking at it. It's got a lot of cool information here, and we're still adding to it. They're still adding to it. So any information that you find would be of great help to this. Oh, I think is this a picture, John, that you were looking at? Of the Griffin pin? Oh yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that would definitely classify as a stable as well. I mean, I don't know if my dragon's gonna fit in there, you know what I mean? But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. You know what I was gonna do is if I couldn't tame a dragon, I was thinking of like building a huge fence around wherever a dragon lives. And whenever I get raided, I was gonna just like see if I could lead the raiders into the pit, or just like lead him to the dragon and let it out, and just let it go ham on him. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably die too, but you know, a guy can dream, right? Anyway, be like a last defense sort of thing. Oh, spears and crossbows. Oh, right. There is a character in the trailer, I believe, that is holding that holds a crossbow, as a matter of fact. So I think that's a confirmed weapon as well. And spears too? Oh snap. And Marcos is absolutely right. He just said that doesn't help from air attacks. He is absolutely right. Oh, we don't have a lot of information. Wait, certain types of dragons are tameable? Oh snap, I just learned something new, people. Oh snap. That's amazing. Okay, that's gonna be great. I wasn't sure. I haven't really asked until now, but I can dig it. I like me some dragons. So these are some of the beasts that we're gonna be expecting in Dark and Light. Of course, bears and centaurs, of course. We know all about them now. And the cheetahs. It's a pretty cool looking cheetah. The cyclops, dinosaurs, elephants, elk, fire elementals. That elemental looks badass, by the way. That is nice. Goblins, spiders. Oh, we got some baby. Oh, we got a baby spider here. Hold on. Look at that. Oh, so that's what the. See, okay, so that other one that we saw earlier, way back, that's gonna be Big Mama for sure. If not Big Mama, at least Big Daddy, and then Big Mama's gonna be much bigger. But these are children for sure. These are children. We even got treants. I'm going Lord of the Rings now. Okay, watch out. And of course we got the Yetis. I don't know if I ever went into the Yetis earlier, but there's going to be mythical creatures like these Yetis that you have to kill repeatedly, and you get some kind of shard from them, and you bring it to a shrine. That's actually confirmed in this article right here. So here we go. I'll just read it to you. Highly skilled players can extract elemental magic from the fallen Yetis to collect their shards, which can be combined at special temples to summon a Yeti. So I'm thinking, and it goes on to say, excuse me, you can use it as a mount, which I think would be pretty cool. I've always wanted to ride a Yeti, and use it as a companion. So when I think of a Yeti, I mean, this guy looks more like a mythical creature, you know, so something like a fire elemental maybe even. We might have some kind of taming system similar to that too. Like we might have to kill it a bunch and then take those shards to some kind of shrine to summon one of our own. And with an elemental, I mean, I guess that would make more sense even as well. And then just taming it. And total, let me read through these comments really quick. Marco said griffins are better than dragons. What? Man, imagine getting a fresh tame and getting attacked and chasing the mob halfway across the map and looking for it forever. Yeah, that would suck. And Croy said that Horse said that air to surface attackers would have to be set up. IRC. I mean, yeah, you know what? When I think about it, yeah, that would take some prep. Like, we will have access to gliders, parachutes, flying mounts, and magical items. So I mean, if you wanted to get, you could do some really cool stuff with that, couldn't you? Like if somebody's got, let's say at point B, someone's got a really big fortress, and you just don't know how you're gonna get through it. Well, you see a big mountain at point A. You go to point A, you get to the top of the mountain, get your glider ready, get your parachutes ready. Everybody's got their stuff ready. You glide on down in there, or parachute in there rather. Then you don't even have to deal with the walls. That could be, yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be cool to see all the different ways we can use to not only attack, but, you know, just go traverse the world. It'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, back to the bestiary, and of course we're going to have dragons in there too. I cannot wait to see those damn things. Those are going to be so cool. Of course, we got the world size in here. So it says on here that, oh, I see where the 40,000 kilometers world size came from. So they're trying to meet that, but it might not actually be there yet. But, from the Reddit post that John posted, if it did get to that size, I mean, that sounds like it would be huge. It'd be a huge, huge map. Fence around a flying dragon. Hey man, it could work. It could work. And Marco says shards have been confirmed to be the taming method for all creatures that can be tamed. Well, yeah, the taming method that I read about was in an earlier Q&A, so if the shard method is the way to go now, then that'll be interesting for sure. I wonder if there's going to be a shrine for every single monster you want to tame. That'll be interesting. But yeah, let's see if we can get to something we haven't discussed yet. Let's see, guilds. Guilds can be built outside of cities to make your own town. Yeah, the guild system, I don't know if I went over the topic yet, but hold on. I don't think I had too much on the guild system. Oh, cash shop. So yeah, it's currently unconfirmed if there's going to be a cash shop in or not. That's not a priority from what Horse said. And the current equipment in the game is based around mainly utility. We might get some more vanity-based equipment after the game officially launches, but for right now, that's probably not something you want to expect. And the game will also be buy-to-play, and there's currently no plans regarding any pay-to-win mechanics, thank God, or anything of the sort. So you can take ease in knowing that. But oh yes, sieges will be a thing. I remember that. And the part about sieges that I had written down was actually coming from this website as well. So oh, and that's why I had this Mortal Online page up this whole time as well, if you were wondering, was because I wanted to show you what I think it's going to look like. But there will be an element of zonal control, which will place players in control of areas of cities, and we assume the wilderness. So, well, the first thing you control when it comes to the cities, of course, being a lord, it would be the faction cities. You'd have control of that as a lord, and if you're in another political position, if they provide one to us. But what I think it's going to be similar to in terms of areas of control is something like this, where we might see keeps, control towers, that sort of thing around our settlements. And it might actually play a part in where you could build and destroy stuff. But I think, I don't know, if they have it to where you can't really build in somebody else's territory, it could possibly be a double-edged sword, because you might run out of places to build really fast if everywhere on the map has a guild in it. But at the same time, if you can build and destroy anything you want, then, well, no, the defense against that would be the player, so that would still be balanced, I suppose, as well. Either way, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I'm thinking it might be similar to something like this. You might see something like this going on, where guilds have zones of control, and probably they just can't extend over other guilds' zones of control without sieging. So we'll have to see how that goes. Close that now. And I think we pretty much went over the majority of everything. PvP is going to be full loot. The game's mainly going to be based off of magic, so you're going to see a lot of that going on, like hybrid-based characters. We might even see a map like I showed you pop up at some point, where someone charts it all out and then they make an interactive map with showing everybody's zones of controls and everything. Like there's one for Darkfall too that is similar to the Mortal one, interactive wise as well. It shows where all the guilds are and what they control. And there might even be one for Worm too. Wait, no, I remember a map for Worm, but it didn't. I don't know if it had. It wasn't interactive, if I remember right, because it was too hard to I think get that map going. Worm had a pretty hard to explain map, difficult map to traverse. Yeah. Let me just read through the comments here. Yeah, that's what I think. I think is gonna happen, Croy. Something like that in terms of control systems. And oh, there isn't necessarily a sieging mechanic with in-game supported stuff. Oh, so you mean there's not like battering rams and catapults and stuff like that? I'm guessing there's like a way to just, destroy something someone's built though, right? I'm not sure if we've gotten anything confirmed on that yet or not. But I just remembered Horse saying that there would be some kind of siege system. And the Lord system being for player-built cities. From what I was reading in the Q&As, apparently that is definitely for faction cities, but for player-made cities, it's a little... It doesn't really describe that. Let me go back to it really quick. Yeah, it says for faction cities, those are unique and open up secondary gameplay systems for players who want to play politics instead of in addition to constructing their own base. Players can build their own town-like societies, but they'll be more based around RP than built-in gameplay. See, I'm not really sure because the first part of that makes me think that you can be a lord of your town, since it says for players who want to play politics instead of / in addition to constructing their own base. But then the second part says players can build their own town-like societies, but they'll be more based around RP than built-in gameplay. So it's just like, I don't know. But the way it sounds like, sounds like you would be able to be a lord of a city. And Croy said, it's pretty freeform, not exactly a built-in mechanic so much as something you can just do whenever. Oh, for sieging. You can stage a siege with as many or as few players as you'd like, and you can stage it for as long or as short as you'd like. I see. Okay, very good, very good. So it's just, yeah, it's just a freeform thing, just like you said. Gotcha. And nope, no confirmed release date yet. No. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else I can find. There are plans to have more than 10 types of skills. Oh, there was an article I wanted to read about the attributes that I found earlier that was really informative for me. I really like that. Ooh, I want to read through this. Cities are not race-based. You will choose from a faction, and your faction's main city will be your spawn point. You will spawn in the shantytown in the shantytown of the city for your start. You can rent places to stay in the cities, but be warned, people can steal things from your rented houses. Even cities are not safe from thieves. That's pertaining to the robbery system. Yes. Lord of the town. Once you reach a certain point in the game, you can become a lord of the town/city, and this grants you different things such as mythical mounts, summon beasts to aid you in combat, guide the players of that city. I bet that means taxes. I'm gonna guide you with my taxes, baby. But yeah, that was an article I really wanted to read. Thank you guys so much for putting that up there. Because I saw that earlier, but I couldn't remember where I found it at. And yeah, this game is gonna be awesome, Michael. But yeah, we gotta wait. We gotta wait and see. This has to do with the factions, of course. So yeah, I pretty much think we went through everything, so we can go ahead and move towards the articles now. Let me just read that quote, or that article I found about attributes really quick, and then we can move on there. Okay, so attributes in Dark and Light are designed around improving the player's abilities to survive in the world. Some example attributes include stamina, health, resistance, and weight limit. Focusing these attributes would help a player develop as more of an explorer and a builder due to their improved survivability. While another player may choose to improve the strength and speed if they plan on joining the front lines in PvP/PvE. As for skills, players will invest skill points into their choice of skill trees as they level up. These skill trees will cover various important survival skills such as building, tool making, exploration, offensive magic, and more. Players can choose to either specialize by investing heavily into individual skill trees to unlock the highest tier skills, or they can become a jack of all trades and master of none if they prefer to play solo. So that was found in an early Q&A, and that was pretty informative because a few days ago I was wondering about the weight limit and the resistances, and I know a few other people were as well. So that kind of clears up some stuff about that, I believe, and the skill tree. So these are some of the creatures that we're going to see in Dark and Light, and they look really, really good. These are the fire elementals, of course, and the yetis, and the griffins. And I read through that a little bit. So we know about the creatures. We know there's going to be a really extensive interaction method when it comes to talking to these creatures and dealing with these creatures. Really excited for that. It's going to be unicorns. I wonder if we can strike a deal with the unicorns. But yeah, the creature system seems to be really, really in depth, and I'm looking forward to that. I can't believe we're going to be able to strike deals with goblins and centaurs and have relations with them. No doubt. I would definitely want to have friendly relations with the Trents. That's for sure. But yeah, this mainly talks about. Let's see. The world of dark and light is filled with danger at every turn. Ruthless demonic creatures that lurk in dark forests at night will instantly savage any living creatures that dare to venture into the mist of night. So that's when they say something like that. That's what makes me think that the night is literally going to be dark and full of terrors. Like there might be something else that we haven't seen yet coming out at night. You know, something with red eyes that you only see, you know, once in a lifetime, if you know what I mean. Something that would end your life right after seeing it, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that it's just kind of giving me pause to, you know, go out of my house at night. I don't know, we're gonna have to see. But I like the idea that the aggression system is based on line of sight, so you just wouldn't be walking through a field, or I mean walking through a forest and something like 10 miles away is instantly aggroed onto you and just starts coming for you and you have no idea. So that's going to be pretty sweet to see, for sure. And it is given the vibe that it's going to be it's going to feel like an actual, you know, survival sandbox. Like you're going to scavenge for food. You're going to have to, there won't be a dynamic weather system from what I read in the Q&A. I read a quote from there saying that there wouldn't be. But there should be a heat and cold system, if I'm not mistaken. I think the only thing that was mainly said was there was going to be a cold system. Not exactly sure about the heat system. But I didn't really get to that part in the Q&A yet, so we might have to save that for next time. But I do know we'll be able to do some pretty cool stuff with magic, like heating up a furnace, for instance, or heating up something, Horse said. We'll be able to do some pretty cool stuff with the environment. Related to magic, and what I'm hoping happens is we might get something in terms of comboing elements, like in Divinity, where if you were to splash someone with a water spell, for instance, and then electrocute them right after, they might get bonus damage or get stunned as a result. Would be pretty cool to see something like that, or maybe even electrocuting a puddle, but I think someone said that would just be basically using it as a wire. I think I totally described that the wrong way when I said electrocuting it. Croy said, I'm staying underground at night. Might as well put my Minecraft first night experiences to good use. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Hey man, you dig two you dig 2 blocks in, you take those blocks and you put 2 blocks out. And you're good. Instant cave. But yeah, Marcos, underground building, that's a thing. We don't know about terraforming yet. I didn't find anything on that. Yeah, just like you guys said. So yeah, I hope the magic system is really extensive as well, since it's going to be focusing a lot on magic. I hope we can do some pretty cool stuff with it. Let me see if there's one. I think there's one more thing I wanted to show you guys. Let's just skim through this article really quick. So this is what the shanty town's going to look like, the town we're going to spawn in. And then apparently after a certain level, we'll be able to move into a shanty town 2, like this one. So a more fancy part of town is what we're going to be able to move into. And apparently becoming lord of a town is based on your level. So the people who are rushing the levels early on, they might actually be the first ones to become lords. For all we know. It seems like it might be less based on a political system and more based on power in terms of that, which would be pretty cool, actually. I think it would definitely give some people the motivation to stay in faction cities, you know, like, so they don't become a ghost town after the first week and everybody moves out. It might actually feel like living, breathing cities the whole way through, and I think that's pretty cool, I gotta say. Terraforming triggered, right? But yeah, this stuff looks really, really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing these cities. They look like they're gonna look like full-blown cities. And I feel like the economy is gonna really flourish from it too. Being able to be a lord and maybe even setting taxes and whatnot. Because I think since we do have to specialize our characters, that you're not gonna see a lot of people doing the same thing. So you might see only a few or a handful of weapon crafters and armor crafters. So that means a lot of people are gonna have to work together to get what they want, if they want everything out of the deal. Like if you want potions, food, you know, weapons, armor, the whole lot, probably gonna have to work with a bunch of different people for that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this game goes. But hopefully I gave it a basic introduction and answered some questions. I didn't get through all the Q&As because, oh my god, those were some long Q&As, man. They had a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions for people, or for Snail. Still, and a lot of them still need to be answered, I think. So we'll have to see. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. This took way longer than I thought it was going to. Good God. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun and enjoyed. And I don't even know if the music was playing or if you guys could hear it. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I think we pretty much covered everything about Dark and Light. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that we haven't gone over yet? Anything like that? Comments, concerns? I had my laptop on me for 3 hours and my legs are super hot right now. Lord. I think we got everything. Thank you. Alright, well, that concludes week 1 of Dread Week. I want to thank you all so much for watching thus far. Hopefully that answered some of your questions and gave a better vibe as to what Dark and Light is going to be when it releases. I learned a ton more today, I've got to say. And we're approaching the end of the year, so we got, just like Koi said, we got about 35 working days left in 2016. So it's coming soon. Gotta hope for the best. Gotta hope for the best, people. Alright, anyway, but... Sorry, I can barely talk right now. But, okay. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you guys join us again next time. And I will see you guys later. See you, folks.